Hello everybody, my name is Average Election Enjoyer. Today is March 18th of 2026, and in this video I'm going to be going over the March 17th special elections in Pennsylvania and Virginia, as well as going over the primaries that we saw in Illinois. So first we're going to go over these special elections, the first of which being the Virginia House of Delegates District 98. Democrats hold a 64-35 advantage over Republicans after them dominating in 2025 in the gubernatorial elections. The Democrats were able to ride a coattail and were able to take a solid lead in the Virginia House of Delegates, which was once very close. As you can see, Coastal District 98 extends from Virginia Beach, which is here for reference, to the North Carolina border, which is, down here. It's near Norfolk and Williamsburg up here. Just in terms of the district, this is where it looks for reference. It's pretty far from Richmond and Washington, of course. And we look at the results. We can see that Andrew Rice here, I don't know why it's a C, has dominated this election with 62.5% of the vote as compared to Charles Smith, the Democrat, only gaining 37.5%. And the interesting thing is that the Republican Knight was elected 57-43 in 2025. So this is one of the first instances of Republicans overperforming in one of these special elections, going from 14 points to about 20 to over 20 points, 23 points, about 25 points actually, just to make sure that is correct. So that is a 11 point overperformance by the Republicans in this election. As you can see, this is the 2025 result. In 2023, this election went uncontested. In 2021, Republicans dominated by a substantial amount. So this district is closer than what it once was. Actually, it looks like it got it got completely redistricted. So this is the last election. So this is actually a very good performance by the Republicans. One of their first actual overperformances, defending a important seat to protect what they have in terms of their minority. So that is what happens in this election. In Pennsylvania State House, this is going to be first District 79. See, Andrea Verobish took down Caleb McCoy 57.6 to 42.4 in a 15-point margin in this election. This district includes areas around Altona. We could go here and look at that. See, it's just around the city of Altona here, going down to Duncansville and up near Asheville. In terms of where it is in the state, you see this is Pennsylvania, so it's in sort of the southwest part of the state, a decent ways outside of Pittsburgh. That is where this is situated. We could see this was redistricted in 2022. However, if we go back to 2024, this election was actually uncontested, and in 2022, this election was uncontested. So fairly good result for the Democrats here, taking a race that has been uncontested for a couple of years and turning it into only a 13-point margin. And you'll see a similar story happening in State House 193, which sits southwest of Harrisburg, which, as it says, is the state capital. And this was also an election that was uncontested. Interesting shape of this district in 2022, but as you see, it got redistricted in 2022. And this race was uncontested in both 2022 and 2024. This was instead a 19-point margin, but this is still a fairly good result. 40% is the beginning of a competitive seat normally. Anything more than that is just kind of an obliteration in turn, like electorally. The Democrats this year are targeting Trump seats to 15, just for reference. That is what they've been targeting. So 15 points is about what Democrats are seeing to try to take Republican seats. So as long as these seats are within that, they're going to be looked at in future elections, at least for now. So to sum it up, a fairly good day for the Republicans. They're able to hold all three of their seats, especially with an overperformance in this election, which is especially topical with Virginia. They're going to be having a statewide vote that is going to be determining if they're going to be redistricting or gerrymandering their seats. So that'll be interesting to cover. I'm gonna be making a video on that. Early vote has began with that vote that is going to be going out. And this is a good sign for Republicans who want to see that ballot not pass. So fairly good for Republicans in this election. Best news for Republicans in a while in this cycle. And these two fairly good results of the Democrats, as they were uncontested in the past two elections. To get over 40% in previously uncontested elections are fairly good results, especially House District 79 potentially shaping up to have a competitive future, maybe 193. These are still important holds for the Republicans, as Democrats hold a advantage in the House of Representatives. And to move on to the Illinois Senate primaries here, first we're going to go over the Senate results here. Dawn Tracy taking out the victory over Jenny Evans and Casey Schlebeck. So you can see Dawn Tracy won every county except for these couple counties down in southeast Illinois and one up here. However, this was only a couple point margin. In Illinois, the biggest amount of votes for the Democrats and Republicans is going to be coming out of Cook, as Cook is Chicago. And Chicago is where the majority of votes are going to be going in Illinois. If you look at their districts, which are definitely in Democrats' favor, you could see a bunch of districts snaking out of Illinois to make a bunch of blue seats. So that is the sort of dynamics of Illinois that we are going to be seeing. And we're going to especially be seeing it with the Democrats, where we had Julia Stratton taking the victory against Raja Krishnamurthy, who was actually the favorite going into this election. And he was the sort of candidate who had the most funds, and Julia Stratton ran a very good campaign to take out the victory here. Kelly winning one seat here. As you see, Cook County, 267,000 votes coming in for Julia Stratton. Now, if you see, Krishnamurthy didn't do too bad across the entire state here, winning by good amounts in some of these smaller rural counties. But the problem is that in Illinois, you can't lose Cook County by this margin if you want to win statewide. You got to keep it close if you're trying to win these counties. This is kind of similar, but kind of the opposite of what happened in Texas, where you saw James Tallarico. He was able to keep it close in Jasmine Crockett's base, and that enabled him when he won all the rural counties. And he also did really good in his home base. That really enabled him to take this election. You can see, though, in these bigger counties, Stratton won every single one of these major counties, and in these smaller counties, Krishnamurthy won. But he didn't have any significant base to get enough votes, and that is why he was soundly defeated in this election. So congrats to Don Tracy and Juliana Stratton for their victories. Next up is going to be the governor's race, where Darren Bailey took home a decisive victory. As you can see, this is an interesting result where the Republican who finished second, Ted Dabrowski, he actually won Cook County, but it's not so much of a major factor for Republicans because Democrats get so much more votes out of Cook County. It's a very liberal area. Of course, it's Chicago. It's a major city. Pretty much every major city is Democratic. So you can see a decisive victory handed into Darren Bailey, even though the biggest county went to Ted Dabrowski. And of course, J.B. Pritzker was uncontested in this election. He is the favorite to win. Darren Bailey is sort of seen as a sacrificial lamb in this one because J.B. Pritzker is very popular governor. He brought Illinois out of severe debt. Very popular with the people there, so that'll be an interesting race there. So next we're going to look at is going to be the House. As you can see in District 1, Maxwell won, District 2 uncontested, District 3 uncontested, District 4 uncontested, District 5 Hanson won, District 6 Conforti won, District 7 Kopi won, District 8 Davis won, District 9 Ellison won, and District 10 was uncontested. That is the result for the House of Representatives primaries here. There were a couple of closer races here. This is the closest race, or not so close races here on the Republican side, but there are a couple more competitive races here on the Democratic side. As you can see, for the Democrats, District 1 uncontested, District 2 Miller won, District 3 was uncontested, as well as District 4. District 5 Quigley took out the victory. District 6 Caston won a decisive victory. District 7 was very competitive, only 3 points separating Ford and Conyers Irvin. District 8 Bean took out the victory in another close election. District 9 was nearly one of the two closest elections here. Kat Abuza-Vega, she is a fairly popular progressive, however she lost in this election, a fairly close election there, with Biss taking out the victory, and then in District 10 Schneider winning. So congratulations to everyone who has won in their primaries. Secretary of State, fairly competitive election from the Republicans. Again, the Republican who won Cook County lost statewide because Republicans have a lot more sway in these smaller, more rural districts. These more rural districts are a big part of what keeps Republicans competitive, while the big districts that really power through for the Democrats were not able to do that, of course. Because they don't have the amount of votes coming out. So a decisive victory by Diane Harris by 6 points here by winning all the rural votes in smaller counties that make up the majority of the Republican electorate here. And for the Democrats, Alexei Giannoulias, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that last name, he was the incumbent, and also he was uncontested in this election. And then for the Attorney General, both races end up being uncontested. So that is what happened in the Illinois primaries. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will be back with more videos. I just want to apologize for not producing as many videos as I normally have. I've just been more busy, and I will return to scheduling or creating these videos more frequently on a more sustainable schedule for the future. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.